Okay, table one. What you're going to be working on for the next 12 minutes is practicing a clay technique called coil making. I know it's something we've done in the past, but again, this year we're going to try learning all the techniques and practicing all the techniques because we have new students coming all the time. We also have students that just forget things from year to year, and since we don't use all three of these techniques every single year, hopefully it's going to make it easier to remember when we do start using them in our projects. So table one, you are going to be doing coil technique, and we're going to be using three things. We're going to be using our Play-Doh for practice today. That way we don't have to worry about wasting any clay. You're also going to have just some Crayola markers. We're not going to be drawing or coloring with them, but we're going to be using them to measure the thickness of our coils. And the last thing that you're going to have at your tables is just a length gauge for how long you want to try making your coils. Obviously, the smaller the easier. So I would suggest maybe starting by making small coils and work your way to making longer ones. The great thing about Play-Doh is once you've made your coils, you can go ahead, you can smash it back up, and you can go ahead and start over by making coils. Just like anything, repetition is key if you want to get better, especially at working with clay. So there's 3 pounds of Play-Doh. Everybody is definitely not going to need a pound each. So just start off by grabbing a handful of clay. You can always get more, obviously. When you grab it out, it's just going to kind of be lumpy and maybe not quite ready to start rolling. So before we put it down and start rolling it back and forth, if you want to just gently massage the clay, or for today's purposes, Play-Doh, just to get it more of a cylinder shape, and then we can go ahead and set it down. The first thing that a lot of people will do and becomes problematic is kids will just start pushing hard, fast, and short to try to go ahead and make long coils. The problem with this is all your pressure is just going downward and it's not going forward or backwards. So if you are somebody that just does short, fast, what you're going to find is that your clay is just going to start flattening out, and it's going to be really hard to work with, and you're not actually creating a coil. So some things to do that will help this is we want to make sure that the clay is actually going forward 3 times and then backwards 3 times, just like a tire on a bike or a tire on a car. We need that tire to make complete rotations to make sure that we keep the roundness or the cylinder shape. So you'll start by keeping your hands together and your fingers straight, and as you go forward, 1, 2, 3, your hands will stay together. Now when you start coming back, you are going to gently separate your hands and then return back to the middle. Going forward, you'll keep your hands together, 1, 2, 3. As you go back, you'll pull them apart, 1, 2, 3. Together, 1, 2, 3. Apart, 1, 2, 3. Now Play-Doh isn't as durable as clay, so you're going to start getting cracks. But again, this is more for practice, and we're not really concerned about cracks or drying out or wetness of the Play-Doh. Today is just about getting used to building things with our hands and getting away from our traditional tools of drawing and painting. So again, using your gauge, I can see that I have made a coil that is the length of the second one, but we want to make sure that our coils are the same thickness. If you start building something out of coils, and if your coils are not all of the same thickness, they're going to start drying differently, and it's going to cause cracking and breaking. So it's really important that when we make anything out of coils, that all of our coils are the same thickness. A great thickness for elementary art projects is this Crayola marker. It's probably a little thicker than you need, but this is going to help from our clay drying out too fast and cracking. So I think it's a really good gauge. So looking at it from the side, I can tell that this piece of Play-Doh is way thicker than my marker. So I have two choices. I can continue to roll this out and it's going to give me a very long coil, or I can choose to break it in half. I have two smaller ones. I can set one off to the side for right now, and I can go ahead and continue working with my smaller one, making it thinner. Again, fingers together, forward, 1, 2, 3, apart, 1, 2, 3. Forward, 1, 2, 3, apart, 1, 2, 3. Now, if your clay starts breaking, your Play-Doh starts breaking, don't worry about it too much. Just take that piece, go ahead, set it off to the side, and just continue working with the Play-Doh that you have in front of you. Again, we're not looking for perfection. We're just worried about getting repetitions in without wasting a lot of clay. So I've gone ahead, I've made a much thinner second coil, putting my marker next to it. It's pretty close. So the things that you want to be checking for is you want to make sure that your clay is not thicker than your marker, and you don't want it thinner than a pencil, and I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Play-Doh, seeing that it does kind of crack fairly easily. Okay, so for the next 12 minutes, continue practicing. You can grab your next clay if you want to. You can go ahead. You can ball it up, make it round, and you continue rolling back and forth. Try to make all four. When you're done, go ahead, grab them, smash them back up, pick up any loose pieces, and then you can go ahead and just continue practicing making coils for the next 12 minutes. Good luck.